Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Lauren and I will be the facilitator for today. So welcome to the lesson, Lilia, Sahar and Fernando. It is lovely to see all three of you. So what I would like you to do is please check your audio, and when you are ready to speak, please raise your hand. This will show me that you can hear me and that you want to talk today. So please raise your hand when you are ready. Thank you, Sahar. Here is a microphone for you. Please introduce yourself. Yes, I can. If you can make it a little bit louder, that would be perfect, but it's perfectly fine for the lesson. I can manage. Fantastic. Thank you, Sahar. It is lovely to meet you. And then let's go ahead and meet Fernando. Fernando, here is a microphone for you. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, teacher. Hello, everybody. My name is Fernando. Good afternoon from Mexico. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fernando. It is lovely to meet you. And let's meet Lilia. Lilia, here is a microphone. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Lilia. I'm from Russia. I'm from Tatarstan. I'm a Russian teacher. Nice to meet you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lilia. It is lovely to meet you. And then let's meet Fernando W. So, Fernando W., here is a mark for you, and please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fernando. I am from Brazil. It's a pleasure to study with you today.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fernando W. It is lovely to meet you. And then last but not least, let's meet Nilza. Nilza, here is a microphone. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Nilza. I live in São Paulo, Brazil, and I am so glad to participate in this class now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nilza. It is lovely to meet you. So let's jump right in and begin today's lesson. Today we are going to be describing relationships. So let's begin. Now I want you to think for a little bit and tell me, how do you know when a couple is in love? What do they do? How do they act? What do they say? So I want you to think about it, and when you are ready to answer, I want you to raise your hand. So how do you know when a couple is in love? Thank you, Sahar. You can go ahead. Fantastic. Thank you, Sahar. So they say caring words to each other, and you can see a visible attraction. You can see that we have a wonderful phrase for this. Actually, I'm going to show you. You can say that someone is the apple of your eye. Now that just means they are the only thing you see. So you think they're the most wonderful, beautiful, brilliant, smart person, then they are the apple of your eye. People use it when they talk about people in relationships, so your husband or your wife and so on. Or you can use it when you talk about your children. You can also say that your children are the apple of your eye because you care about them and love them so much. So then let's hear from Lilia. Lilia, what do you think?
I think that a couple, when a couple is in love, sometimes they are like crazy because they are very, very happy. They not notice anyone around them, and when they spend a lot of time together, when two people want to spend the rest of their lives together, and when they can stay away from someone.
Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. So you can say that they only see each other. Everyone else is irrelevant. So they can be at a dinner party, and if they are new lovebirds, new and in love, then they're still just going to stare at each other with their little eyes the whole night. So great job, thank you, Lilia. And yes, before we go on, let's meet Joeldo. Joeldo, here is a microphone. Please introduce yourself. Thank you, Joeldo. It is lovely to see you again. I had you quite a few times in the last month, I think. So, as always, good to see you again. So now we are talking about how do we know when couples are in love. We've heard from Sahar and Lilia. So, Fernando W, Fernando H, Lilia or Joeldo, if you'd like to add anything more, now is your chance. Please raise your hand. Thank you, Joeldo. You can go ahead. Fantastic. Absolutely. Great job. Thank you, Joeldo. So I see no more hands have gone up. So I think that you all did a great job at answering this. So let's not waste time and say the same things over and over. Let's rather go on and have more time for everything else. So let's continue. Now you are going to tell me a romantic story. Maybe it happened to you, maybe it happened to a friend, or maybe you saw it on TV, in a movie, or even read it in a book. So what you're going to do, you're going to tell us this romantic story. But what I would like everyone to do, actually no, we're not. We are not going to ask classmates questions because there are 6 of you to tell stories and we won't have time for that. So that's not necessary. But what we will do at the end, there is another question at the bottom. And that is, whose story is the most romantic? So afterwards, if you think someone's story was more romantic than yours, then we will talk about that. But that's only if anyone wants to. So as I said, we're going to start at the top. You're going to tell me a romantic story. So when you are ready, please raise your hand. Thank you, Joeldo. You can go ahead. Fantastic. Thank you, Joeldo. That was absolutely lovely. So just one thing while we're on that. When you are dating someone and you live in different cities, you would call it a long-distance relationship. So you can say we were in a long-distance relationship. I am in a long-distance relationship. That never changes. It says different cities or towns. So now let's hear from Fernando H. Fernando H, please go ahead.
Okay, teacher. When I met my wife 10 years ago, it was in a party, and then I invited her at dancing, and then in this moment I declared my love for her, and then before that I met I met my girlfriend in this time. Today is my wife. Across with or through with other friends, and then it was a romantic story because in this time I don't I finished with other women, but when I met my wife, my life it was very interesting, and then I met her in a party. That's all. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fernando H. That was lovely. And then let's hear from Lilia.
Teacher, may I retell 2 stories about my story and about my friends?
If you keep it brief, you can. We are on a bit of a tight schedule, so if they're short, then yes. If not, rather just choose the best one. It's up to you.
The first story is about me and my husband. It was 7 years ago. My darling was 29 years old and I was 19 years old. But when my parents knew about our relationships, they were against for it. I was very nervous, but I loved my future husband very much, and we were very happy. We spent a lot of wonderful time together, and then we decided to marry, and now this man is my husband, and we are very happy, and we have a wonderful daughter. It is my romantic story, and the second story is about my friends. My friend's name is Sasha. He began this story began last year. He met Katya. It is the name of your girlfriend in a wedding ballroom. They were both arranging sitting next to each other at the dinner. Sasha was immediately struck by her beauty, intelligence, and charm. Since Sasha didn't know the rest in the dining table, Sasha began to introduce himself, and they talked more than an hour before they noticed that they had met before in an outing club. And now, in March, they married, and they are very happy. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lilia. Absolutely lovely. You managed to tell 2 stories very, very quickly. Thank you. And then let's hear from Sahar. Sahar, can you tell me a story? Fantastic. Thank you. That was absolutely lovely. Great job. And then let's hear from Fernando W.
Hi, I met my girlfriend in a bus when I was going to home, and in the bus we talked a lot, and I liked her and she liked of me, and we changed phones, but we only get the chance to meet again after 2 years. And when we met ourselves again, we entered in a relationship, and I'm dating her, and she's my girlfriend until now, since 2 years. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fernando. Absolutely wonderful. And last but not least, let's hear from Nilza. Nilza, please go ahead.
Okay, I remember a romantic history of my friend. He went to work in a city very far from São Paulo, in the rural area, and there he met a girl, a very poor girl, and but he knew that she would be the woman of his life. When he finished his work, he had to come back to São Paulo, but he decided to bring her with him. And when he arrived in São Paulo, his mother was very impressed because the girl came with him without know his family. I think is the most romantic history that I knew. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nelsa. That was absolutely lovely. So, now, as I said earlier, we're going to have that one little question at the bottom. So, this is optional. It is not compulsory. If you want to answer it, fantastic, raise your hand. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to affect your mark. So I want you to tell me whose story was the most romantic. If no one raises their hand in the next, let's say 20, 30 seconds, then we will move on. So it's all up to you. Fantastic. Then, okay, Sahar, go ahead. Fantastic. Thank you, Sahar. Absolutely lovely. I quite agree with you. Although I must say, everybody's stories were absolutely wonderful. And sometimes it's hard to decide whose story was the most romantic, because if anything happened to you, it's always going to be the most romantic because you experienced it firsthand. It can sound fantastic if someone takes you on a hot air balloon and proposes to you. But it's not going to feel as nice to you because someone gave you flowers and that's what happened to you in real life. So it's one of those things. So let's go on. Now we are going to look at these phrases. So before we do anything with them, I just want to make sure that you understand them. So they are to chat somebody up, to ask somebody out, to split up with somebody, and to have a row with someone. So, if anybody is unsure of one of them, or if you'd like me to explain them so that you are sure, then you can raise your hand. Thank you, Geraldo. What can I do for you? Which ones are you unsure of?
Okay, I can try to explain split up with somebody. I think it's split up if you're a real demand try to take a woman if women don't want this man, or take it the man is a drunk and they come on, let's go dance with me, women split up in your face. I don't know it's correct, but I think is the split up is the thanks.
Thank you, Geraldo. That was absolutely wonderful. I enjoyed listening to that, but it does have a little bit of a different meaning, so I'm going to go over it. So split up with someone is when you break up. So if you are married and you don't want to be married anymore and you end your relationship, then it is divorce. But if you are dating or engaged and you end your relationship, then you split up, you break up. So thank you for your idea. That was absolutely wonderful. But it's more to do with splitting up when you are in a relationship with someone and you end it. So then, is anyone unsure about anything else? Chat somebody up, ask somebody else, have a row? Yes, Fernando W.
Out is to ask for a girl, for a boy to go to somewhere to know a little more about him or her, and to eat something and know a little more about the another person that you are interested. So I believe that this is ask somebody out. Thanks.
Absolutely, thank you. And chat somebody up and ask somebody out are hand in hand. So ask somebody out is when you ask them on a date. You think, wow, you are lovely, let's go to dinner. I want to get to know you better. Or maybe you are already dating and you go on dates. So ask somebody out to say, let's go to dinner. Let's go watch a movie. Let's go to the carnival, for example. And when you chat somebody up, that is when you first meet them. It is your first conversation. So if you are with your friends or having dinner or at a party, and you see someone and you think, wow, they look very nice. I would love to date somebody like that. If you go to speak to somebody for romantic reasons, then you have gone to chat them up. Okay, so it's not the same as a normal conversation. Hello, my name is Lauren. What's your name? Because you think they are pretty or you know them a little bit and you want to date them. So yes, Geraldo, would you like to say something? Fantastic. Thank you, Geraldo. Absolutely wonderful. And yes, I did notice you got the first word slightly wrong on the last one, but it's absolutely wonderful. At least you knew a different word. That was lovely. And thank you for your explanation about the different ways you can chat somebody up as well. That was lovely. So the only one left that we can talk about is to have a row with someone. So when you have a row with someone, then you have a fight, or you have an argument, or you have a disagreement. So it is just when something happens and you're not happy about it. So it's a little argument. Now what we are going to do, we are going to put these into two groups. There's either a good thing or a bad thing. So we only have 4. So I'm going to hear from the people who haven't spoken in a while first. We'll try them. So, Nilsa, I'd like you to do the first one for me. Chat somebody up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Nilsa?
Could you repeat your question?
Of course. The first one that we have over here, chat somebody up. Do you think that that is a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, I think it is a good thing because you can talk and meet somebody. Is it right?
Absolutely. It is definitely a good thing. It is what you do when you want to meet someone. So if you've never chatted anyone up and no one ever chats you up, then how are you ever going to get married? So it is quite important, thank you. And then, yes, Fernando H., what about the next one? Ask somebody out.
Okay, teacher, I think it's a good thing. Ask somebody out.
Fantastic, absolutely. It's a great thing to ask somebody out. And then let's look at number 3, and let's hear from Lilia.
Split up with somebody, I think it is bad thing.
Absolutely, thank you. We have one more left. Let's see, let's hear from Fernando W.
I believe that have a row with someone it's a bad thing because we are have a discussion with someone that you like, and this is bad for the relationship because sometimes can be the cause of the breakup of the couple, and this could be the start of a split up with somebody. It's what I believe. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fernando. And I quite agree with you there. Having a row isn't a good thing. It's mostly a bad thing. Although, when you have a little row with someone, you have silly little arguments and fights, then it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it helps to make sure you don't have any big problems in the long run. But the main thing is, if someone couldn't make you unhappy or sad, then you don't care about them. Only the people you love the most can hurt you the most. So if you don't have a row with someone, then things can be fantastic, but there might also be a little problem. Little rows are perfectly normal. I had one 2 days ago. It was horrible at the time, but now everything's perfect. It's one of those things in life. So thank you so much, everyone. And now I want you to answer the second question here for me. We're not going to talk about our stories again, but what you are going to do is tell me, have you done any of these things lately? Have you chatted somebody up? Have you asked anyone out? Maybe something not as nice has happened and you've split up with someone, or you've had a row. So this is just a short answer. Have you done any of these lately? Let's start with Sahar. Thank you for that, Sahar. You say that very, very well, even though I agree it's not very good news. Just one thing. You said divorced, you say divorced. So that's one thing I want you to be careful of. When a word has a suffix at the end, then try and say it short, short, short. If you can't say it with the last little sound, think of it like that. That's divorced. That's divorced. So you don't need to add much, just a D. If you can't say the E, then you don't say the E, just add the D to the end. So divorced. Quick and easy. If you can't do words too easily, say it as fast as you can, your teacher won't notice. Okay, so then let's hear from Nilsa. Nilsa, have you done any of these things lately?
Yes, I think the last year I had a row with my husband.
Thank you, Nilsa. And you said that perfectly. Well done. Absolutely wonderful. So then, it's not the nicest, but you said it perfectly. So thank you, Nilsa. And Lilia, what about you? Have you done any of these?
Chat somebody up. My darling, and he is my husband now. He chat me up. It was very romantic, I think. When I was more young, when I was 20 years old. Now I am 26 years old. And when I was 20 years old, I and my sister and my friend went home from disco. My future husband met us, and he introduced himself, and he asked our names. And then next week he saw me and said that he liked me very much, and he said to me that I was very beautiful. And then we met, and we were very happy. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lilia. Absolutely lovely. And Joeldo, have you done any of these things lately? Fantastic. Thank you, Joeldo. So that was absolutely wonderful. Just one word that I'd like to go over, and you broke it up quite a lot. So you'd say add. So you talk about maths, you say all you need to do is add 2 and 2. So add, then chores. How should we say that? So think of it almost like a cure, cure. It's got that same sound at the end. So add, then chores. And that's all you need to do. Thank you, Joeldo. And then let's hear from Fernando H. Have you done any of these things?
In my case, no, teacher, but I know my co-worker, my colleague, spoke about a slip up with her girlfriend. He has the opportunity to travel next week to United States, and then is for business in my company, and then the object of the he has the option to carry with other person, but unfortunately he break up with his girlfriend, and then is currently he has a bad history, but unfortunately it was because he is very emotional, is in his instability emotional, and then he broke with her girlfriend. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando H. Very well said. And again, not the nicest ending to the story. And that's one thing that's very interesting about today. Some stories are beautiful and wonderful and happy. Some just make us a little bit sad. So thank you for that. Absolutely lovely. And then last but not least, for today we are going to hear from Fernando W. So have you done any of these things lately?
I haven't done any of these things because I'm a guy in a relationship and I don't want to split up my relationship. And as I am a faithful guy, I do not chat another girl up, and I didn't ask any girl to go out with me also. So I haven't done any of these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando W. Absolutely lovely. And that's always a good thing. When I was looking at this list, I thought this is a good list if you're single and you have chatted somebody up or you've asked somebody out, then it's a good thing and you should have done some of these things. But if you are in a serious relationship, then it's not very good to be talking to other people and asking them on dates. And it's not a good thing if you split up, or if you had a serious row, it's also not a good thing. So I can't say that I'm sad with your answer. It's much better that way. So I have just seen the clock and we've run out of time. So I'm very sorry, but I'm going to have to end the class here. Now, usually I'd love to go on, but I get in trouble every time I run over class. I have got in trouble quite a lot lately, and I don't want to get into trouble again. So I'm very sorry, but I can't go on. But what I do want to do is I'm going to quickly pop a few websites in the chat box. Now the reason I say this is usually in the class I can write up all the gradings, but we were quite a large class, so I've battled to write them all up. So I'm going to just give you an idea of which ones you must make sure you get. And then in your grading it'll all make sense and you'll see how to use them. So number 1, we have our first one. And we'll have number 2. There's number 2. And there we go, number 3. And do we have anyone who speaks Portuguese in the class? Let's quickly check my list. That didn't work. There we go. Okay. And yes, we should have some who speak Portuguese. Now, number 4 will only work if you speak Portuguese. I'm not sure how well it works, but it shows you, because the words are very, very similar. It's just the beginning or the end has a little bit of a difference. So that just shows you if a word usually ends with this sound in Portuguese, then it usually goes like this in English. So it's a good guide on how to change the words that you already know, so it all makes sense for you. So it's a great idea to use if you speak Portuguese. So, let's see. So, Fernando W., I want you to remember the prepositions. So number 1. Is it number 1? No, number 2, Fernando, Joeldo. Number 1, there are a few sounds that you battle with slightly. Lilia, your main one would definitely be prepositions. Nilza, it would be number 1. And Sahar, you did absolutely wonderfully, but I want you to look at number 3 as well. Then I have some great information in my chat bar over here. And the one thing I want everyone to look at is the infinite, simple past and past participle. Copy down that list. It will all make sense in your grading, but they are some great tools that you can use. So I want to say thank you so much for your fantastic answers, everyone. You were brilliant. So 2 things left to do. I'm going to release the slides. You can go over them and finish up if you like. And one last thing. Congratulations! You all passed today's lesson. So great job, Fernando, Joelda, Lilian, Nilsa, and Sahar. You are all fantastic. So please keep safe, keep happy, and until I see you again, bye-bye.